Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World, and in this video I'm going to do the character review for Khun. This guy is always at the top of the tier list and there are good reasons for it, and I'm going to try and explain them in this video. We're going to cover the usual points, so we're going to talk about how good this unit is, the skills, exclusive equipment, gear, ignition weapon, rapport, revolution, and a final showcase. So we can just get started with the first point, how good this unit is, and obviously we all know this guy is a fucking monster. He's at the top of the tier list for a good reason. He's also a pretty cheap SSR plus to build. You don't really need a lot of investment. To be honest, you might not even need revolution, but definitely that's a pretty good plus. His main damage is based on the enemy max HP, which means he has high chances of being relevant no matter the deficit you're trying to push and no matter which other units they might release. So he's a super worthwhile investment, super good, and really has good synergies with some other units. Really, really strong. So yeah, not much else to say from this point of view. We can just go over the skills really quickly. We have a passive. The passive is that he's going to cause a lightning strike whenever the final attack of his basic attack sequence lands on the target, and he's going to create a spear bearer mark that lasts 20 seconds and deals 200% of attack as damage, decreasing the enemy defense by 40%. Pretty nuts already. One mark paralyzes the target for 0.5 seconds when it is created. 2 marks paralyze the target for 1 second and is going to deal 10% of the target's max HP as damage to 50% if the target is a boss. 3 marks are going to paralyze the target for 1.5 seconds and deal an additional 20% of the target's max HP. 300% if the target is a boss. Pretty good already. And we can see some differences already from another unit that has max HP damage. That unit is Vivi. She has max HP damage on the basic attacks from her exclusive equipment. What was that, like level 3? I think, yeah, it was the plus 20. And the thing with Vivi is that she has capped damage based on her attack. But this guy doesn't. This guy is going to deal 20% of the target max HP. Or we're going to see even the special move he has another scaling. Really good. And this doesn't even scale with levels. We can see it's all in gray. So the passive itself is really huge. The only thing that will scale is defense, but okay. The rest of the stuff here, the 10% and 20% max HP, is fixed, which means this guy is already pretty good at 3 green, but definitely will get better because the one in the special move actually scales. But we'll see when we get there. So already the passive, really good. Defense red, additional damage, and some crowd control. Really good. The first active skill is the impenetrable domain. It's going to create an impenetrable domain for 10 seconds. This domain is going to block projectiles fired from outside and is going to release an electric current that deals damage equal to 200% of his attack to enemies that attacked. Already pretty good for some defenses and to deal some damage. The damage portion is not that relevant, but still pretty cool. He is immune to status effects and his swiftness increases by 40 while the domain is active. Pretty cool. So yeah, this active skill is really strong. We can look at the second one. Edahn becomes immune to status effects and teleports to the enemy with the highest attack, and is going to strike down lightning to deal 620% of his attack as damage, paralyze them for 4 seconds, and then return to the original position. He's going to then increase his swiftness by 40 for 10 seconds. This, without the Revolution 4, is a bit of a double-edged sword because it could be killed while he's dashing in the enemy team. Not too problematic if you're going to build him, as I'm going to tell you guys, but still at high deficit without the Revolution 4, he might struggle a bit. But definitely really good skill. The paralyze effect is nice and is also going to combo with the special move that we're going to read in a second. And the swiftness increase is really good. The damage itself is low, doesn't really matter, kind of weird, but definitely the fact that you can CC the highest attack enemy is pretty cool. Then we have the special move. This is really a super good skill. That Edahn becomes invincible and throws the Montana Azul, which is obviously the name of the spear, hitting the enemy with the lowest current HP to deal 60% of that enemy's max HP as damage. This is only capped against bosses again. Level 1 is 30%, which is a bit weak, but okay. Still decent because we still have the damage from the basic attacks that's boosted by the passive. So that's still okay, but definitely 60% is a really good percentage. And it's also going to stun them for 1 second. The skill always lands. So this is a guaranteed hit. Doesn't matter what the enemy has, you're going to hit them. And if the target is paralyzed, any of their skills that activate when fatal damage is taken for the first time are nullified and is going to create a spear bearer mark. The spear remains stuck in the ground for 3 seconds, releasing sparks and dealing damage. This second part, just whatever. But the fact that it can nullify skills that are activated when the enemy takes fatal damage is nice, but there are not many units that do that, like a Wang Nanjai, Karaka, I would say Chalden Dorsey, stuff like that. It's okay, but not too important. Maybe it will be more important in the future, we'll see what enemies will get. And also, it's really tricky or difficult that an enemy is going to be paralyzed when they're going to be hit by the skill. So it doesn't really even proc that often. Still, pretty cool. And with Revolution 5, is going to gain a magic resistance shred by 80% for 10 seconds. This is massive if you're pairing him with a magic damage dealer. Absolutely nuts. Really, really good. And also for himself, is definitely a good thing. So yeah, not much to say here. The kit itself is absolutely amazing. And yeah, we can move on to the next part, which is going to be the exclusive equipment. So for the exclusive equipment, it gets crit hit rate. It's okay, since he's a ranged unit, it doesn't get crit rate by default on the Revolution subnodes. So it's okay to get crit hit rate. So nothing to say there. The level 1 and level 2 do the same thing, but they stack with each other. So it's going to be a total of 5% max HP recover and 5% attack increase when he paralyzes a target with a spear bearer mark from lightning strike or tower spear bearer. The max attack increase is 10 times, so it's a 50% attack increase after he applies the mark for a total of 10 times. Pretty cool. He's also going to decrease the swiftness of targets with a spear bearer mark by 20. Again, a pretty nice addition, especially when you're attacking the last remaining enemies. They're going to be super slow. Pretty cool. The duration of impenetrable domain increases by 5 seconds. It goes from 10 to 15. Pretty cool. I don't really know the cooldown of this skill. I guess it should be around 30 seconds, which you can decrease by a ton with the subnode from the Revolution 6 and also the swiftness. So it shouldn't be a problem to keep the uptime if you were to go for the 30% max cooldown reduction, which I don't necessarily recommend. You don't really care too much about having this domain up all the time. It's definitely a plus, but not something worth investing for. And that's it for the exclusive equipment. Now the next point is the gear, and here you can see I increased everything, but for sure the most important things are, well, accuracy if you don't have enough, but that's the usual stuff, I will say. Then crit rate and crit damage are the second most important thing. And the third one is going to be resistances, because this guy is going to be run with resistances. That's pretty much it, I will say. And actually, let me just increase it here, because also in this tier, I think it makes sense to have at least a bit of resistances. So yeah, that's basically the usual, more or less. Nothing really much to say here. For ignition weapon is a bit trickier, because normally you would run a 4-piece L. That's also what I recommend here in my spreadsheet, both in the preset section and here in the final section. We have L set as the best in slot. I would say though that, as you can see here from the screen, I run him with an hybrid set, mostly because the 4-piece effect is a bit tricky to keep up. You can do it with Erang now, it's pretty easy actually. But if you're not running Erang, this guy probably gets hit a lot of times, and since we're running him with resistances, we don't really care if he's hit. So just for consistency purposes, I'm running the hybrid 2 Doris to L to have 10 swiftness and 20 attack speed all the time. But yeah, you can definitely run for L, it's not a problem. What's important is that you run magic resistance and physical resistance, because as we saw, this guy just deals a shit ton of max HP based damage. We don't really care too much about boosting his damage even more. We just need him to stay alive and keep crowd controlling the enemies, keep spamming those max HP damage. Really, really important. So yeah, not much else to say here. Again, either a 4-piece L or a 2-piece Doris 2-piece L will work just fine. I would not go with Sundance, even though I proposed it as an alternative. It doesn't really matter. If you fully invest in him, Sundance could be okay, but I would still go with additional attack speed in general. You don't really need the attack scaling. We're not going to build too much attack on him. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I wanted to mention also for the ignition weapon. For the Rapport, nothing much. This guy is a DPS. You want to go with level 6. No surprises here. So let's just move on to the next topic, that is Revolution. And for Revolution, you will see that I didn't invest too much on the subnodes. I actually recently tried to invest in crit damage, but I didn't have it, I don't know, for the last couple of days, I think. Yeah, I just unlocked it like a couple of days ago. The replays we're going to see, I believe, don't have this 90% crit damage unlocked. Is not really that needed. Even after I unlocked it, the damage went up a little bit, but nothing too noticeable. And the attack increase doesn't really matter because, again, we're basing our damage on the max HP scaling. The only node that I kind of invested in is the attack speed node, but it seems there are some problems. If you take this one and you do bossing, there are some weird interactions. I don't really care too much about it. Bossing changes so frequently. I'm not going to not invest in a node just because of that. So I put all 20 points in it, and it's going to increase the damage by a ton because, as we saw, he has max HP scaling in the basic attacks as well. Pretty cool. Affected, pretty nice actually to unlock, so I would say 10 levels would be fine to have. I still haven't put them. I don't really want to use too many orange mats in general. You never know which new units we're going to get. So yeah, that's basically the reason. And tier 6 is only needed if you want the uptime on the domain. And this basic attack pierce, I'm not sure it applies to the passive. If it did, cool, I guess, but not too important again. Don't worry too much, he's going to deal a shit ton of damage regardless of subnode's investment. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Revolution as well. Let's just head over to Adventure and have a look at some clears. Let me see, I think I have a very recent one. This one had the 90% crit damage for sure here. Yes, let me look. Yeah, in this one I didn't really bother because I was doing auto progress, so I didn't even see that the enemy had a Child Yuri that killed my Erang immediately. So we can see the fight where he did most of the damage. We only have the grouping from Erang at first, but then he's going to be the only DPS in here. So we can have a look at how he performed. So yeah, let's see. Erang is dead. Grouping in here. And then he's going to cast the first special move. There are a lot of times where the damage is lower than expected, but then it's just going to kill the enemies at other times. So it's pretty weird. Look, in that case, one enemy was annihilated by the spear. He's taking some damage, but we have Edahn to keep him alive. Again, he killed Child Yuri. The max HP damage that you see also from the basic attack when he's casting them is really huge. In this case, Yuri didn't die, but she's going to die really soon. A bit overkill with that special move, but still pretty nice. Here he dodged, fortunately, the special move of Endorsi. She is keeping her almost perma-stunned, but not really too much. And then here just killed with the basic attacks. The damage is really, really good. And it doesn't matter the deficit, this guy is always going to deal damage. Which is pretty insane if you ask me. So yeah, that was one of the fights. Let me see, I had one a bit lower that was also kind of relevant. Let me see, it should be this one. Yes, and here don't look too much at the teams. I was focusing more on auto-progressing through the stages. And since we have a train arena, I had to use units that I kind of used in PvP, so the teams are a bit weird, but it's okay. That Jin Sung Ha should never be in this team. I don't have a front line. I don't give a shit. So it's fine. And here I also had animations on. Okay. Let's just skip them. You have your rank that's grouping up enemies. Always cool. Yeah, I don't think we can really understand a ton from it, but yeah, most of the damage was done by Edahn in this fight. He killed some of the units, he killed Prince there. Okay, that one was aimed at Joaquin, but Joaquin died while he was casting, pretty annoying, and now he should be killing this unit as well. Okay, cast one, didn't even break the shield, and this one killed him. Pretty cool. He's a really reliable main DPS in general. He will always deal max HP damage, absolutely insane. Then let me see, I should have also an earlier one, like this one. Yes, in here I also had this guy without anything, because again I was auto-progressing, I couldn't give him any kind of set, I just threw him in there, and he still did quite a few billions of damage, so it was interesting. That guy is really busted as well with Revolution, so yeah. Again, no tanks, they're not really that needed when you have Bam, Evan, and a 100% resistances Edahn. Well, most of them here have 100% resistances. The only exception are obviously Wang Nanja, because he doesn't have any set at the moment, and Irang because I'm running her with damage. But really, Khun Edahn, great. He doesn't need grouping that much, so you don't really have to pair him with Irang, because the only portion of the special move damage that's going to be AoE is the actual lightning zone that's left after the special move. If I'm not mistaken, but it should be like this. And here, nothing much. I should probably speed up the replay and not keep a base speed, but okay, let's go 2 times. And she was killed by the special move. And that was pretty much all for replays. I might show you guys another one that I did at the beginning of floor 91 while I was testing out Garam and Anak together. And this one is a bit funny because like those 2 units are so insane, you can literally play any main DPS with them. And in this fight, like I wanted to try how frequently I could spam the special move with these units. Unfortunately, Anak kept on dying. It's a bit annoying if I can be honest here. She's a great unit, but for some reason she dies often. So I don't know. But you can make her survive. This team was just a bit random. So yeah, we have like 3 units that will give him energy, and as you can see, his energy bar is always up. So he's going to cast special move over and over again. Pretty dumb, I will say. I really liked it, And we can see here the damage is just stupid. And that's it. Really stupid. I don't know what else to say, guys. And the thing is that Anak plus Garam plus Nare can make any unit work. I always run this Karaka just for a bit of grouping, but you don't really have to. You can actually run another buffer and you will probably be fine. So yeah, definitely Nare plus Anak plus Garam can make any unit that rely on the special move be absolutely insane. But okay, this is not a video about them, so I will just end it there. And yeah, I hope you like this video, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about Edahn, and if you have any additional comments for me. If you like the video, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!